What's up, guys? I'm Mike from StockedUp, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We have a ton of information to go over in today's video. Tesla stock is down over 8.5% today. Powell is speaking twice this week. We have news on the relief bill, and we also have news with these cruise lines. RCL is up 9.5% today. We have CCL up over 5% today. We had a lot of interesting movement in the market today. If we look at the VIX index, it's up about 6.5%. The SPY was down about 1%, and we had the NASDAQ down 2.5%. We have a ton of information to go over in today's video. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. We post brand new videos every single day. But with that being said, Tom, what happened in the market today?
Yeah, just like you said, Tesla was really down 8.5%, and this is a pretty big thing. Tesla fell out of its little range. I had it in between $800 and $900, and then now it's all the way down to $714 today. That's an insane drop out of Tesla. Hopefully, it can kind of hold the $700 support, which we can see a hit in the past here on December 18th of last year. But I do think it can hold that support possibly. Hopefully, it can. But in the short term, it's just not looking good for Tesla. There has been some negative stuff coming out about them. And there has been some people who have been saying to short Tesla. And, a lot of people did short them up here at the top, which was very interesting to see. And it looks like that those shorts are actually playing out pretty well as of right now. But just keep in mind, Tesla was at one time the most shorted stock. And if people start to short it again, I mean, that's okay. I'm sure it'll fall a little bit in the shorter term, but hopefully it goes up in the long term.
Yeah, I think it'll do just fine in the long term. But for the short term, I mean, down 9% almost in one day. That's a pretty big day. Like you said, we are getting close to support. Right now, I'm seeing the main support at 700. But if we break below this, I think that'll be definitely something to look out for the weeks ahead. So overall, we just have a lot of crazy movement going on right now, like especially even with cruise lines, Tom. I mean, RCL is up 9.5%. Like, what are you seeing there?
Yeah, this was actually reported by CNBC, and they said that the Royal Caribbean CEO says that booking data for cruises suggests a surprisingly positive post-COVID recovery. We really thought older people would be more cautious. Turns out they want to get out of the house too. Royal Caribbean CEO Richard Fain told CNBC on Monday, and then you can really see how much this shot up Royal Caribbean, and they had decent earnings. You can see their EPS was positive. They had a negative 5.62 EPS back here. Now they're at 1.07 today, which is an amazing thing for Royal Caribbean. And this really helps the whole industry overall with this stuff. And the outlook on it is actually getting pretty good. People are wanting to go back on these cruises, and it looks like that they're going to start booking and going on them on this summer, which was something that I had been projecting over the winter time that this might start to happen. But I think that this is just a good time to possibly pick up shares of CCL, NCLH, RCL, and all the cruise lines. It could be a good recovery here over the next couple months as summer starts up.
Awesome. So we, of course, have to talk about what's going on with Powell this week. I heard he's speaking twice this week. Can you fill us in there?
Yeah, this is actually on, let's see, the federalreserve.gov, and it says that he's speaking tomorrow, Tuesday the 23rd, and Wednesday the 24th. On Tuesday, he's speaking at 10 a.m. Eastern time, and you can go to the federalreserve.gov slash news events slash calendar and find, you can click watch live to watch it if you want to. I'm sure it might be on YouTube as well. And then on Wednesday, he's also doing it at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So just go ahead and watch out. CNBC reported that people are actually getting kind of nervous about this week. So just watch out for what he says. He could move the market. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. But I will say that with all this going on, /ES, which is S&P 500 futures, and the SPY, it just looks like it could start going to the downside here over the next couple of days. It looks like it might start to really turn over.
I mean, Tom, I'm just hoping for movement, whether it's up or down. We've been stuck in this range for the past 2 weeks. The SPY's bouncing back and forth like a pinball. I'm just looking for some movement, whether it's up or down. And I bet we'll see that this week with all the catalysts going on. Like, even with this relief bill, I heard that there's news that we're getting closer to the new relief bill. What's going on there?
Yeah, this is actually pretty good. The House panel advances a $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill as Democrats move closer to passage this week, CNBC reports. And that's a good thing. And the market did shoot up early in the day, but we saw the SPY tank off at the end. And that's just something we see with the market right now. Sometimes we're just seeing swings to the upside, swings to the downside, and pretty much zigzag trading here. And just we followed the pattern again today. But hopefully, if the House and the Senate both pass this bill, hopefully then this could actually help the markets, and hopefully it does. But man, it's just in the short term, the markets just are not looking good. And even with this news coming out today, I would have expected to see a little bit more green than this.
True that. So, with all the catalysts going on in the market right now, we also have some pretty big earnings this week. So, Tom, if you could pull that chart up real quick. We do have some pretty big earnings. Like you said in yesterday's video, we have OXY today. We have Home Depot, Lowe's, Nvidia, Square, Moderna. We have a lot of big ones. Look across the chart. DraftKings, Redfin. There's a lot of huge names this week. So, are there any ones you're watching for tomorrow?
Yeah, for tomorrow, I'm really going to be watching Square. I think that's my favorite one for tomorrow. And for the end of the week, I'm really interested in DraftKings with all the Super Bowl stuff going on. If more people were betting on the Super Bowl this year, DraftKings might do pretty well. It just depends if the house won or not here. We'll have to see.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll definitely keep my eyes on Square too, but I think the biggest day for me will be on Wednesday with Nvidia and Redfin. Redfin has just been a powerhouse this year, so I'm very excited to see what type of numbers they report. Like if we pull up their chart, like you could see right here. I mean, in the past year, they went from about $9.63 all the way up to highs today of $98.45. So it's definitely been a powerhouse.
Yeah, that's an insane run. I mean, I'd be careful of $100, but hopefully you can break that with earnings today. It looks like they're trending in the right direction with their EPS, so hopefully it can go up. They've had a lot of nice movement, like you said, from $9 up to 98. That's pretty insane. You don't see that all the time. And then, like you also pointed out, NVDA is also going to be reporting on Wednesday, and they also took a turn to the downside today, like a lot of stocks did. We saw Microsoft down, we saw Tesla down, we saw Nvidia down, and those are three pretty big stocks that we've been talking about a lot lately. And man, it's just pretty scary to see, but hopefully these stocks can kind of hold their supports here.
Good stuff. Well, let's get right into our member of the day and then the momentum plays. So, with our member of the day, we have Go Mavs. So, huge shout out to Go Mavs. Great job being super active in the Discord chat and for your positivity. We appreciate it. And now let's get right into the momentum plays for tomorrow. With the first one, we are looking at Snapchat to the downside.
Yeah, with Snapchat, go ahead and make them fall below $63, and that's posing as a pretty decent support here.
Awesome. With the next one, we have Twitter to the downside.
Yep. Once again, another tech stock down today, but make them pass below $70 and actually just $70 even.
All right. And then we have JD also to the downside.
Yep. With JD, make them pass below 97.15.
All right. With the last one, we have one to the upside, and that is CAT. So this thing is up just under 4% today. It is skyrocketing.
Yeah, I don't know why this stock's doing so well, but make them pop above 219. And man, this stock, I think it's at all-time highs, like you said. It's been following this trend line to the upside here. And I can't believe that this trend line's been in play for as long as it has, but it looks like the stock is still holding it. And man, I just, a lot of people expected this Dow stock to go down this year. It's just nice to see it going up. And that could be due to a lot of people, building houses, and the housing sector just doing pretty well overall.
True. And then, Tom, look at DE. A lot of people are saying that CAT is moving in sympathy with Deere because they reported really strong earnings last week, and we could see that they're just exploding too.
Yeah, that's really nice to see the agriculture department and the housing development, everything like that is doing fantastic. And man, it's just a very nice thing to see as of late. But just keep in mind they're up quite a bit this year. It might be time to start looking for puts here, maybe.
Sounds good. So, a quick recap. We are eyeing Snap, Twitter, and JD for potential day trades tomorrow, only if they can break below the levels Tom listed. And we are eyeing CAT for potential day trade to the upside tomorrow, only if it can break above the level Tom listed. But let's get right into our $10 million trade for this Friday. We are looking at the Roku 480 strike call options that expire this Friday, February 26th. And like I said, $10 million in this play. Looking at Roku, it definitely did not have a good day today, down about 6.5%. Right now, it's sitting right around $437, and we're looking at the 480 strike call. So I'm definitely going to say that they are shorting these calls.
Yeah, I would hope that they're shorting them or that they're covered calls. This stock looks like it's just about to break the support here around 437. I think that that would be a good level to watch to the downside tomorrow. Man, this stock really looks like it's turning down. Mike, this looks pretty scary in the short term, I think. What do you think?
I was actually going to comment on that. It kind of looks good for like a breakdown. Maybe grab some puts if it breaks that support, but it'll definitely be on my watch list. So now let's get right into the questions from the previous episode. With the first question, we have Kay saying, "Thanks, Mike and Tom, for the video. Can you take a look at ABBV? I bought on the reversal last week. However, it had a pretty red/choppy Friday. Will it hold the 20 SMA as support, or should I consider taking a loss on the trade soon?" So he also is asking about IDEX, but let's cover ABBV first. So what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, the supports look pretty good. I don't have the 20 SMA on right now, but I think the 102 support looks pretty good. It bounced off of that a couple times. I really like how it gapped up, hit there, and then came back down to support. And now it's kind of breaking back up again. I think Warren Buffett just bought this, didn't he, Mike?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So Buffett just got into this as well. It's doing fantastic. CVX, he also got into that, which is doing great today as well. But I think that ABBV can start to go up in the shorter term, especially with that news with Buffett. And if it does start to go up, watch for it to possibly break highs with Buffett getting in. Maybe he knows something that we don't. And if the healthcare sector starts making a lot of money, then ABBV is going to do pretty well.
Yeah, so always trust your gut no matter what. But if I were in your position, I would probably just hold on to it. Honestly, it's a pretty solid stock, has a great history, it's a good company overall, and Warren Buffett brought into it. And it's actually a pretty decent price in the long term. We could see back in 2018, this stock was sitting right around $125. So personally, I like it for a long term hold. He was also asking about, can you take a look at IDEX? I'm running a wheel strategy on this stock, and it's fairly decent on its run-ups and pullbacks. What do you think? So this stock is only around $3.50 right now. It's just, I would never trade a stock like this. It doesn't mean it's bad. It's just not a setup for me. We could see it hit lows of around 28 cents back in April or March of last year, and right now it's at $3.50. So it's making a good recovery overall. It's just not a play for me, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad play.
Yeah, that I agree. It doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. I mean, if there's a good fundamental reason behind it, if they have a good product or something, then they could be good for the longer term. With this type of growth over the past couple of years is great, but just keep in mind that if you get in right now or if you got in over the past couple of weeks, you're getting in somewhere around the highs or the middle of the range here. You can see that it has big swings up and big swings down, big swings up and big swings down. And right now we might be on a big swing down again. So I wouldn't be surprised if it tested to the $2 support here over the next couple months, honestly.
Awesome. And then with the next question, we have a lot of people asking about PLTR. So this stock kind of tanked last week on earnings, had an amazing Friday, popped up about 15%, and then fell about 3.5% today. Personally, I like it for the long term. I think last week was great to sell cash secured puts on it, and it's still okay to sell cash secured puts on it right now, but overall, I like it. Tom, do you have any levels or thoughts on this one?
Yeah, in the shorter term, I actually really like the support around 27.27. You can see it hit that in the past. You could say 27.30 maybe. And it's right on the 200 SMA as well. Hopefully it can hold that and kind of go back up. I do like it for the longer term, like you said. I think it is kind of holding that support, and I think as long as we can hold that tomorrow, it could start to move back to the upside, and I will be watching it for sure. PLTR is one of those stocks that, like you said, everyone's been asking about, and I just think that especially if it can somehow break $30, that it would be a great play.
Awesome. With the next question, we have I'm Fierce saying, great video, getting excited for tomorrow. What are your thoughts on MVIS? So, Tom, this stock went from about 84 cents to highs of $24.18 in the past year. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, this one's up a lot once again. It could start to pull back in the shorter term. It looks like it started to gap up from like 16 to $20 there that day. Just be very careful with something that's went up like this. It's had a lot of hype behind it, and just keep in mind, the implied volatility is very high once again on it as well. You can see the last time it got this high, we saw a pullback in the stock. So just start to be careful in the short term. I would say if we do break below 1750, somewhere around there, I think that we will, I think it could be a good play to the downside, at least in the shorter term. I mean, what do you think about it? It has such a steep rise here.
I'm just going to stay pretty neutral on this one. Yeah, I'm just going to stay pretty neutral on it. With the next question, we have Carlos saying, "Hey guys, great video as always. Where do you see Baba going in the short term? I needed to hit $280 to cash out." So let's take a look. Right now it's sitting around 254. It's looking a little rough, Tom. What do you think?
Yeah, Baba's not looking good right now. There is a pretty good support here, like you said, around 253, 254. I think if it can hold there, it would be a pretty good play, possibly a good pickup. But, it is a Chinese stock. Keep that in mind. They're not the best company in the world. Keep in mind they're like a cheaper version of Amazon, and a lot of people think that Alibaba is just a joke. So, just keep that in mind. But I know a lot of foreign countries use it, and their EPS is pretty good as well. But if something does happen with like the listings of them with the United States or something, then they could be pretty bad, and maybe that's why they're going down. But I think that they might hold support here, and I do think it's a good stock for the longer term, though. But my only questioning is that it's a Chinese company, and if anything happens with any Chinese stocks, then they could get in trouble.
Yeah, so they are a well-established brand, Alibaba. They're a pretty big company overall. But yeah, I know what you mean, Tom. Like I remember, what was that, like a year, maybe 2 years ago with Luke and Coffee. Remember that? How much I think they fell like 60% in a day or something with like they were reporting like the wrong numbers or something like that. You remember that?
Yeah, they actually reported the wrong numbers, and then they fell like 60% in a day. But that was because they got in trouble legally in China, which caused them a lot of concern. And I'm not saying Baba is going to get in trouble legally or anything, but if something happens like with personal security or something with data, I would think that's what would affect Baba.
Yeah, I'm looking at Lucan's old chart. So they IPO'd right around $20, ran up to highs of 50, and then came crashing all the way down to $1.39 in like a year almost. So that's pretty crazy. That was in 2019 and 2020. So it was definitely some interesting movement going on there. But Tom, do you have any last minute stocks, options, or any insight for the market for tomorrow?
Yeah, I really like DraftKings for the end of the week, which we'll talk about, as we get closer there. But for tomorrow, I really am I'm going to be watching AMC, and AMC is doing very well in after hours right now. It ran from 650 at the end of the day all the way up to 725 in after hours on my 15-minute chart. It is getting close to this 1,000 SMA, which is a little worrisome, but that's what I'm going to be watching for. If it can move above that and somewhere above like 750, I think it'd be an awesome play. This is a pretty hyped up stock. It looks like it's starting to possibly come back up as well on the daily chart. It had a pretty good support around $5 to $5.50, and it held that, and now it's starting to go back up. I wonder how far it can go. And my main goal here is going to be somewhere around $10 if it can start to run. And, it does run a lot, though, once it does run.
Sounds good. Well, thank you for sharing that, and I agree with you. It definitely has a lot of potential. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. As always, if you have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. And if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. We post brand new videos every single day. But other than that, thanks for watching.